Shit.
Gang shit, cuz, gang shit.
Hey guys, it's Philip, the Hunter Resource. Today, we're going to be working on a little CRX SI. This one has a B20 in it, and we're going to be working on a little fuel issues that it's having and getting her up to par to where Eric, the owner, can make his trip to Florida. As I mentioned, it does have a B20B. It's a Japanese B20. And I think it has a B16 cable transmission. It's currently equipped with a Golden Eagle fuel rail, skunk 2 intake. It's got a skunk 2 throttle body, a header on it. That's like a tri-Y, and then it actually has stock exhaust on it. So we're going to be getting to fixing the fuel issues on this and getting them squared away. Alright, so I got the fuel tank out now. Basically what I did was hang these straps up here. You see how I got them like tied to the tie rod or the lower control arms, and then just in the tow hook spot there. Made an X with them just so they hold the tank, and then let the tank down and was able to get the fuel line off the top, the wiring off the top, that kind of stuff. And this is actually a new fuel tank that was put in there, and our issue with it is on the fuel pump sock. So let me adjust this light a little bit. There we go. All right, so they put a Deechworks 200 fuel pump in here, but they didn't use the correct sock. So you see the orientation, it sits in there like that, and the sock is vertical. That sock should be flat with the bottom of the tank, so it should be like here as opposed to this. So it's not going to pick up fuel, but right here on the bottom of the sock, unless you have a full tank, and then it would pick up for the whole bit of the sock. So we had to order another sock for CRX, and that should fix our fuel issue. So previously I think he said that fuel pump was in an Odyssey, and probably what it just the orientation of the fuel pump hanger had that fuel pump in a slightly different angle or something to where that sock was picking up. So that's probably an Odyssey sock. So that's probably why it's not working correctly. So we're just waiting on that. Today is Monday, Labor Day, and I think that he said that they could have it in by Wednesday or Thursday. So once that gets in, we'll go ahead and get this fuel tank taken care of. But right now, I do have the parts to put the replace the axle, and I got a fuel filter. So I've got a fuel filter and this axle here, because you can see see that fluid on there. But look at this. So I don't know what's up with that cup. I don't know if it's the wrong axle or what's going on with it. So we're gonna get this wheel popped off and go ahead and pop this axle out and see what's going on with that. Alright, so also while this CRX has been here, went ahead and we put an adjustable fuel pressure regulator on there because, like I said, we were chasing some fuel issues, and he knew that he had put the fuel pump in this tank, but obviously he didn't know that that sock was incorrect. So he did buy an adjustable fuel pressure regulator, and we got that installed. He also bought the new fuel filter, so we're gonna go ahead and install that as well. I don't really know that it needs it, but might as well go ahead and do it. It's, you know, it's right here on the back of the firewall. Like I said previously, also this car is equipped with a JDM B20B, and I'm pretty sure it's a B16 transmission. Then it's got the JHP exclusive Hasport black anodized mounts. So it's got the mount there, that one there, and the one in the back, and it's got a rye wire harness on it. So it's a pretty sweet little setup. Should work really well once we get it together and going. So let's go ahead and knock out this fuel filter, and then we'll move on to the next project. All right, so upon further inspection, this fuel filter that he supplied to me is not the correct one. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this one back down, because this is like for like a EG or EK style. Got both of the outlets on the top, or the inlet and the outlet, to where this one has them on the end. So I'm gonna abandon ship on this one. All right, so one of the next projects we have to tackle is wiring up the fan. So it's got some terminals here coming off the fan, and obviously this car is tucked, and it has also a rye wire tucked harness on it. So I've got to trace out where these wires for the original fan wiring is, and then get it run through the fender well or whatever, and get these into that wherever it goes. I would like to keep them tucked under the fender apron over here, along with the other wiring, just to maintain the cleanliness that he's already established. All right, so the fan wiring, you can tell all this down here looks pretty rough, because all that wiring just comes in here, and then, you know, it's got all this rye wire harness that converts it over to the OBD1. It's got S300 in here. Anyways, I traced out the wires and found out that I had a bad fan relay, which they've relocated to under the dash. So I got the relay replaced, and found out that, well, the relay was actually right there. This is the one I put on, and I actually took off the old Skeeter gear. Let's see if I can, yeah, put her right back in there. Yeah, just like so. All right, so we got that on there, and then the wiring for the fan was right here, and so I just twisted these wires together and ran them out here to test. All right, let me mount this camera up real quick. Let's see. All right, so let my little jumper wire go ahead. I have a little jumper wire that I was using to jump the fan switch out. Find it real quick. All right, so the fan switch on the thermostat housing, I just disconnected it, and then just took a piece of wire that jump across these terminals, which will complete the circuit for like whenever the car gets up to temp. So if y'all don't know, that's how the fan circuit actually works. It just, once this little fan switch triggers, it just completes the circuit, sends the power to the relay, and then was actually a ground right there. And so once we have that in place, we can just touch these wires and the fan kicks on. So while I'm still holding those, we can pull this wire out, and you can see it breaks the circuit, so the fan cuts off, and so we're good to go. So now I just got to run this wire through the fender well, like the rest of the wiring is, and then solder it on the inside. Probably come up with some kind of connector to put out here to where it's serviceable, to where you can disconnect it. So that's what I'm working on right now. Just working through the little issues with this thing. It's going pretty quick. All right, so you know, with this the CRX fuel tank, it's been several days since I worked on this car, because we had to order the new fuel sock for it. So we've got the new fuel sock here. It just came in today. I just went up to AutoZone and picked it up, and we're gonna go ahead and see if we can get it installed on this pump. So that's what it looks like, and hopefully this is gonna work out just fine. It's got our new little retaining ring there. So we just got to take this fuel pump back out of here, get the new, well, we got to get this sock off of here first, and then get the other one put on here. All right, so previously mentioned, like I said, this fuel pump was a DeechWorks 200, and it was previously in a Honda Odyssey that the customer owned. It's been on the channel before. That Honda Odyssey is the one I actually put the H motor in. Shortly after we got that car together and tuned and stuff, he had a little run-in with a deer, and it totaled the van. So we put the DeechWorks, or he put the DeechWorks 200 fuel pump into this CRX with the new fuel tank. I guess he reused the sock from the Odyssey, because you can see, like, I guess in the Odyssey the fuel pump would have been this orientation with the sock, you know, laying flat there horizontally, and with it in the CRX now, it's sitting to where the sock is vertical. You know, that's not going to work. So this is the sock for the CRX. You can see once we put it on there, it's going to be horizontal as well. So let's go ahead and get this on there. Open this one up. And we got our new little retaining clip there. I'll need that boot to come back over here. That boot trying to escape on us there. Alright, so we're going to pull this little clear cap out of there. I would like that to be a little more snug on there, but I think it's going to work just fine. Alright, so we got our new retainer there, so we'll slide it over the little tab on the pump down here. Alright, and then so we got it started. So I'm going to just take our pliers and push it the rest of the way up on there until it bottoms out. So we've got that all the way seated there, looking good. So then we'll put our little boot back on, just like so, and then we'll push this pump back down one more again and get it seated back in this bracket. There we go. So that's seated back in there now. So you can see that whenever the pump is actually into the tank, this is sitting horizontal instead of vertical. So we should get some good fuel pickup there from that. Let's fix our gasket on here real quick. Feed that back in. We'll put our nuts back on here. These are 10 millimeters. All right. So we got all those back on. Now I just need to, let's see, get all the rest of this stuff out of the way. I'll have to secure all the wires back to the tank like they were when I took it apart. Alright, so now we're pretty much ready to put this back up into the car. Now, as you can see with the car previously, I had put these straps up here and let the tank down onto these straps. So that's kind of the same process I'm going to go with putting it back in here, because I am working by myself here. Nobody else here, just me. Just me. So, and I don't have a transmission jack in here or anything to set it up on, and I don't really fancy crawling around the floor that much. This thing doesn't have a lot of fuel in it, so it's not going to be terribly heavy. And so I can just get it and slide it back up in here on top of these straps, and these straps will hold it until I can get the wiring ran up into the cabin from the fuel pump. And then I can also, I think I can get these hoses aligned and stuff, get this fuel supply line hooked up on top of the fuel pump, And then once I get all that stuff situated, then I can lift it up into place and put the straps on. So I think that's our plan for action there. It's basically, essentially, the same way it came off, but in reverse. So let's get to it. All right, so there you can see the fuel tank is sitting up here. You know, like the straps are, these ratchet straps are holding it into place. That way I can go ahead and like put on my fuel line and stuff on here. Get all this stuff to where it's situated. Alright, so now we got the fuel line tight. Now I can move to getting the wiring up into the cabin. Alright, so I got the wiring back up in the cabin now. And now I've just got to hook up my fuel lines, my filler neck, and the overflow. And then like my breather hose, fuel return, right up here. And put her back up in place. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook up those things and then pick it back on recording in a minute because I'm about out of memory on my memory card. So I'll be back in a minute. All right guys, there it is. I got all the straps on there. I got all the hoses hooked up. And seriously, this took me maybe 10 minutes or so from the time I put the sock on it till I had it fully installed. So really not that big of a job, honestly. And everything's, like I said, is hooked up like it was when it came off of here, whenever I took it off. And now we're gonna see if the little thing will crank and have some fuel pressure. Let's check it out. loose up here or something. Oh yeah. All right, we're building some fuel pressure now, baby. Just took 0 times of cycling the heat, baby. You may be a little low. Alright. Maybe it needs to be idled up just a smidge, because it's not wanting to stay idling too well, but it seems to be running just fine. The starter solenoid ain't wanting to start with the key. Alright, so now we've got this thing purring like a newborn kitten. Hopefully it's ready for its maiden voyage, actually going to Florida. The guy that owns it, Eric, he's going to be taking this thing on a trip to Florida, and I think he's wanting to leave today. So hey, it's a good motor. It's good and strong. It's been in another car before, and now that we got the fuel pump stuff situated, it should be fine. So only thing we got to work on real quick is the starter situation. As I mentioned a minute ago, I was having to jump it across the starter to start. So we got to do something. It's got this ride wire harness in it, and it's I just think maybe it's not carrying enough load actually to the starter to start it with the key, because I can jump it across the solenoid and it starts fine. And it sounds like it's clicking under the dash, so I don't know. We'll try to figure that out here in a few. But that's gonna wrap up this episode. Now, Eric is fueled for success, man. I know he's gonna just crush his trip down to Florida, and it's gonna be a great trip down there. Driving this CRX. This thing's been here for some months, and just getting around to actually doing it. I've got several projects here like that, so this is actually the third car I've had in the shop today. I've had 2 CRVs in here, and then the CRX once I finally got the fuel sock for it. So I know that he's gonna be doing great things in this CRX. So thanks so much for tuning into the channel, and hope to see you again on another one soon. Make sure you smash the like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.